Hi everyone, welcome to Skilled Inspirational Academy. This is free CCNA Day 11 class. Here we got a list of topics to discuss today. I hope, I mean, in the 9th class, I believe we done the IP phone lab. And I thought of, showing you the IP phone lab with complete functionality. I think the last time when we did the IP phone lab, we had some problem. So we'll do this lab one more time. And today you got a half an hour of Q&A session where you can ask your doubts regards to your lab. If you have any difficulty in setting up your labs, and maybe with you, if you have any difficulty irrespective of any topics, you're welcome to ask questions. I'll help you out the next half an hour. So let's first get started with the wireless lab. Yesterday I have done the lab before because since I told you we have some glitches in the packet tracer, it's not working always. We have some problem with the packet tracer at times, so that's the reason I've made a predefined lab and shown you the wireless concepts yesterday. So I thought of doing a wireless lab very quickly, and we'll move on with the further topics. So let me open up the packet tracer and we'll do the lab first. Guys, you're unmuted. You can ask your questions. I hope everybody done the wireless lab, right? You guys have tried the lab at home?
Yes, sir. We have tried.
Okay. You have any difficulty with the lab?
I have a query. This is Rohan. Arjun, sir. Actually, I tried to do some advancement in the lab, so I had a doubt in that. So I was waiting that I expected today that part will be covered in the session, but I'm not sure that we will be covering. I tried to configure the APs, like we discussed that single WLC can manage multiple APs.
Okay.
So I was trying to splitting the APs, but it was not possible for me. I did not get how to split that.
Can you share your screen?
Just a minute.
I think I have to give an approval for sharing the screen, right?
Yeah, think so. I do not have, and I need to check my that Cisco packet tracker part also, which is so basically what I was trying a different AP with a different credential.
1 minute. What's your name? It's Rohan, right?
Rohan, yeah.
What it says when you share your screen? You get any error?
I'm checking. Just let me try.
Okay. I think I have to stop my screen first.
It says me host disable participant screen sharing.
Now I have stopped sharing my screen. Try now.
Yet it says the same host disable participant screen sharing.
Host disable, right? So yeah. I'm going to your option. Rohan is your name, right? Rohan.
Yeah.
And I don't see any option to, okay. Allow participants unmute. I got only options to
mute and unmute.
Mute and unmute, yeah, mute and unmute and all that. I don't have any limitation with. I don't have any limitation for you.
I can share my query with your diagram only. I referred with the same diagram. So basically, what I was trying, there was like LAPs, right? We have implemented in right side. So I was trying to split LAP with different credential, like single AP with single credential accessible.
Okay, it's a bit hard to imagine, but if you share your screen, it would be better. I'm just looking for an option to do that.
Yeah, fine. Meanwhile, I will try to open my Cisco packet tracker and the save file which I have kept.
Yeah, sure, sure. Guys, anybody can, can come up with your queries, your questions. One minute, let me check on this. Rohan, can you try now?
Yeah, it's showing me. I'm able to share. Just showing.
Okay.
I hope the screen is visible.
Yeah, I can see your screen. Yeah, what you're trying to do here?
So it's just loading now. I think so. Wait a second. So basically, this is the single LAP and this is the different LAP.
Okay.
So I was trying to split this, like this LAP has a different credential access and this LAP can be synced with different credential. I was trying to implement that. I was not able to do that.
No, which credential? See,
Uh,
go
the
back to your.
wireless LAN, the VLAN which was implemented through WLC. I was trying to implement two of them, but defaultly it was getting configured on both. So I was trying to split. Like this LP should have a single VLAN connection, WLAN connection, and this LAP should have different WLAN connection.
No, I'll tell you. So you're going for a production level of implementation. See, in the controller, you can definitely do that. With the policies, you can do.
Okay.
How that can be defined, I'll tell you. There is okay. See, let me share my screen.
Yeah,
I'll
fine.
explain first, and then I'll explain the concept first. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I'll share my screen. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Able
Okay.
to see.
Let me open up a whiteboard. See here, the ideology is what we done in the yesterday's lab. We got one SSID, right, from the controller. From the controller, I got only one SSID. We say it is a wireless network, right? So then I got an AP here. and I got a switch. So what the SSID which I have created through CAPWAP tunnel, right? This access point is broadcasting this SSID. Since this is lightweight access point, you create your wireless networks in the controller and it is just broadcasting this to everyone in the local LAN, right? If you want to make, and if your requirement, you said to me, if I understood correctly, you want an access point, one should broadcast an SSID example test, and you got an access point, one more access point connected, and it should broadcast some other SSID like SIA. So
Yes,
you
perfect, sir.
you want two SSIDs to be broadcasted. So see, if that is the case, you have to write a policy in the controller. I don't think that is possible inside, but I'll show you. We will try for the option. See, inside the policy, say for example, say this is access point one. I'll take this example. Maybe in theory, I'll tell you. I'm going to create a policy, something like policy AP1. Inside this policy, I'm going to define my wireless network to be broadcasted, right? Say, for example, this is test. And this policy should be applied to this access point level. If you go inside the access point, you can apply the policy. What policy? This policy is called policy AP1. So what happens if you apply this policy? Only this particular network will be broadcasted and send it to this particular access point. You can make that based on the policy, but here this is very, I appreciate you're doing an advanced level of wireless stuff, but here the limitation with the packet tracer we got is we can create only one SSID, one or two SSIDs that can be created, but whatever the SSIDs you create, that goes to the default policy that's inside the controller, and the possibility is whatever SSIDs you create in the controller, all the SSIDs will be broadcasted back through the controller that goes to your access point, and it's going to broadcast both SSIDs, not one single SSID. That's how we can achieve with the packet tracer. Let me try the option. I haven't tried in the packet tracer. I don't think we have a possibility for that. Why does this keep on? Okay, let me take the access point 3504. We take a switch. Guys, if anyone haven't done this lab, just see this is how we should spin up the wireless controller for the first time in the packet tracer. Rohan, you did it in the same way, right? What, as we discussed yesterday?
Yes,
you
sir.
followed
It was the same. It was the same method.
and you got the connection, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even I tried with the using multi-layer switch and splitting the VLAN, but it was the requirement that I need to add a WLC again for the separate SSID. So through that I achieved, but in the last you said that we can manage single WLC and multiple APs. So I was trying to achieve that. So I thought I will ask you today that in the today's session, can we achieve that?
Oh, let me try that. Let me try to create two SSIDs first. This is a flat network, so 192.168.0.1 and the gateway. Okay, I'll give two here. One as a gateway. Okay, then I'll go inside the desktop, but I have to create the VLANs. interface VLAN 1 IP address 192.168.0.1. Default subnet mask, no shutdown. And this port should communicate back now. So let me go assign a static IP address 192.168.0.10. Default subnet mask, default gateway. So DNS server is going to be the same. Close this. Go to the web browser. Once you've done your IP assignment, so you have to give the IP address of the controller. Don't give any HTTP, any protocol, don't define any protocol, just give the IP address of the controller. It's 2, right? I should see a connection now.
It takes time.
Yeah. So I'll create a Cisco lowercase admin password. Whatever password you want, you can give. I think it should be uppercase and the combination of special character. So I gave Cisco 123 here. So I'm going to give Skill Inspirational Academy here. And the date is all default. And the management IP address, that's 192.168.0.2. And the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. And my default gateway is 192.168.0.1. Here you should not define any VLANs, okay? Let it be in the default, only then it works. Then name of the network. Let me give this as CR1. And the web key, C capital Cisco at 123. Cisco at 123. Management VLAN, let it be. You cannot change anything. This virtual IP, just ignore this, but this virtual IP is needed for the internal access point and the WLC communication. We'll talk about that later. So for now, everything keep it default. And once you apply, it reboots. So what you should do, you can close this window, open back your web browser and type https:// the management IP address of the controller. I think it's negotiating, takes some time. Okay, I get a prompt. The username is Cisco 123. Okay, so now I got my GUI for the controller. So the objective here is to, okay, this is the first SSID I have created. Let me go inside this. Security policy is WPA2 and I have enabled the password PSK. It's fine. Let's go to advanced. The whole thing is blurred out, right? So let me create one more one more SSID. Get a prompt. From my profile name, let me make it as CR2 and the same name for the SSID. This ID is just to distinguish your SSIDs. So this is number 2. If you keep creating it, it increments. And then I'll apply this. So go back to layer 2 security, and I'm going to give WPA2. Did not PSK. WPA2 policy, and I'll give a password. Same password, Cisco at 123, C capital, and then apply. Okay, so let me go back to wireless. Okay, since no association, I have to first make the access point connected back here. This is disabled, right? The admin state is disabled, then this SSID will not be broadcasted. So here you should consider this always, it should be enabled. Let me go and enable this. Come on. Okay, I'm going to enable this SSID. SSID creation, when we are creating your SSID, ensure that it's enabled, only then it works. Okay. It's a bit slow. Okay, both are enabled, and you want one SSID to be associated. There's no options at all. Okay, let's first try to join the access point. So what you will do in the real time, I'll show you. Okay, everyone's side, it should be added first. Let me go to controller, wireless. Rohan, actually, see, this is all disabled. Okay, see here, this flex groups, right? If you go inside the flex groups, where is my digital pen? Rohan, you're with me?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Okay. See, if you go inside this flex
Okay.
group is what? So this is for your remote access points. One centralized controller.
Sorry, sir. Once add some laptops on the second SSID. Then
Sorry?
uh, uh, add a second laptop and add on second APs like SCR2.
Yeah, but his question was to broadcast the SSID through the access point. I got your point. See, if you go to you're giving suggestion to configure only that specific SSID in a laptop, then apparently it gets connected to it. But this it broadcasts both SSIDs, right? He wants the access point to limit the broadcast. I mean, he wants a specific SSID. Say, for example, this I've created two SSID. So his requirement, he said that he want the CR1 to be broadcasted in the access point 1, and CR2 should be broadcasted in the access point 2. That is not.
Then after paired and then after categorize the group.
Sorry.
First via CR1 is connected on one laptop, and CR2 you should connect a CR2 from second
Yeah,
laptop.
that is fine. That is fine, but that's from the user perspective. You're doing a limit, but he wants the requirement to broadcast the access point 1 should broadcast only the CR1, and AP2 should broadcast only CR2. Example here. So he want only one SSID to be broadcasted in one specific access point, and the other access point should broadcast the different SSID. That was his requirement. I don't think that is possible with the packet tracer limitation.
Is it possible via VLANs?
Possible via
with
VLANs.
VLAN, but WLC is required. We need to add two WLC into the infra. So in packet tracer, then it is possible. I think so. Due to packet tracer limitation, it is not allowing. I will try with GNS3 or any other application and get that.
I'm more than happy if you get it. Gee, I don't know. I mean, do you have images for controller for GNS? I haven't tried. Maybe it should be there, but I haven't tried.
I will. Even I am not aware. I will check in the weekend and then try for that.
I don't
Because
think.
actually I have that scenario in my company, currently. So I need to know about that. So I'm just trying to learning in the
No, the
practice
theory
lab
part,
scenario.
see, the theory part I'll explain. What is your, model of the controller?
It's basically it has multiple WLC, and that is globally somewhere else. It is hosted in Europe region, DC. So through that, they are controlling about 1200 APs are being controlled. So I was trying to catch that concept, how that it has been splitted, and in that scenario, how I need to go for the troubleshooting in the live
Okay.
scenario. So I
Okay.
was trying to understand that.
See, I'll tell you one thing. First, step one, as per your requirements, I'm creating two SSID. One is test one, test two. This is all just a WLANs, right? How do you do this mapping? From a Cisco perspective, I'm saying I don't know about the other vendor because I haven't worked on that.
It's a
But,
Cisco.
okay, so inside this flex group, see, can you see this flex VLANs?
Yes, sir.
So inside the flex group, you can group your location. So you can create your location. See here, okay, let me make the location. Okay, so example, I'll take this of Bangalore as an example because I am in Bangalore. So say for example, your controller is in Bangalore. Okay, your access points are in Bangalore. So I'll create a group named Bangalore. So if I say, for example, in Bangalore, I got two access points, AP1 and AP2. So I'll bring this access point 1 and 2 inside this AP group. Okay. And your requirement is you have to broadcast one SSID in AP1 and one other SSID in AP2, but in the same location, right?
Yeah.
But mostly they won't do like that. But if you want to do in such a way, you have to create two flex group. Okay. You have to create two flex group. And for this Bangalore, that's a VLAN tagging. See, VLAN 10, VLAN 20. So VLAN 1 is mapped to one SSID, that is test 1. And this is for test 2. So what you do in the flex location Bangalore, create one as per your custom name you can give, and only assign one VLAN. Allow only one VLAN. Okay. And you create an SSID. So what happens, this particular VLAN, right?
Yeah.
For this VLAN, this particular SSID will be broadcasted.
Okay. Fine. So I need to go, means it is a concept of flex group. It comes under the flex group. Through that, I can achieve that.
Yeah. Using the flex group, there is a way to VLAN mapping. So inside the VLAN mapping, you can specify your local LANs. This is for flex. Flex is something in the remote, what you want to broadcast.
Yeah, got it.
To your local VLANs. And see, and I'll check for the options to, I'll drill down, okay, one more time, because right now I'm not using the 7500 controller. This is all, policy. This is not policy based, more like you can do mapping. But in the 9800 controller, it's pretty simple as your requirement. See, I'll tell you, in the 9800 controller, it works on the policy that works with iOS XE. Are you aware about this? This is ROS. This is ROS based controllers. All this till 7500. This is an ROS operating system. This firmware is specifically designed to work for the controller only. But this iOS XE, you got this Nexus appliances that used in the data center, right? More like, I would say, more like a switch layer 3 switch. I would say make it very simple. It works like a layer 3 switch with additional wireless features. So here, everything now it's changed to policy based. So how it works, I'll create a policy like Bangalore, okay?
Yeah.
And inside the Bangalore, there is an option like flex VLANs. Okay. So inside the flex VLANs, you might have inside the Bangalore switch, you may have VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. So you have to add this VLAN inside the flex VLAN, inside the policy, 20 and 10. So once you added all this, you have one more option to add your WLANs. There you can actually specify your WLAN. For this network, okay, when user connected, they should see only this VLAN 10 and 20. So based on the WLANs you add to inside this policy, inside this Bangalore policy, the WLAN I got is only test 1. So what happens for VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 users, the test 1 will be the only VLAN they can see that will be broadcasted, because using the policy, you limited the WLANs. This is how it works with the 9800 controller. But here inside the flex group, you have to allow those VLANs. Inside this VLAN, and I'll check is it the how the WLANs mapping has been done in the old controller. I'll check on that, because I am working on 9800, so I am more familiar and I can remember this. I have to go back and see the old controller that's decommissioned. Still, I have an access. It's same kind of approach to apply your policy. I'll check that. But this is the basic understanding.
Basic fundamental. Yes, I got that. I got your explanation.
So that is something I would say in the VLANs and your WLANs, you can map. You can map as per your requirement. You can map as per the requirement. You can map n number of VLANs that's local, and if it want to be a central switching, that depends. But this is the basic ideology. As I told you, inside the policy, using the flex VLANs, you can allow the VLANs, and you can also add the wireless networks, whatever you want. So that can be achieved with this approach. Okay, so any other questions? You guys can come up with your questions simultaneously. I'll connect the access points. So I created 2 SSIDs here. So the connection should be a wired connection between the access point and the switch. Rohan, and also you just come up with your exact model. Okay, I'll try to find that exact model of the controller. What exact model? Yeah.
Fine, sir. I will get back with that.
Interface fast Ethernet 0/3. I have to connect a power cable here. Yeah. I have to connect the power cable, only then the access point boots up. Okay, I have to create this. So I have connected the power cable back. It's negotiating. In the meantime, I'll create a DHCP server. IP DHCP pool. Network 192.168.00.255.0.0.0. Default router 192.168.0.1. That's it. Done. Go to the access point, go to config, and I have to check the interface. Okay, it's connected on GI00. Okay. I think I have to connect. Okay, it got an IP address, right? What is the interface it says here? GA0. Okay. Config the gateway I got. What is the IP address? Okay, 192.0.2. Oh my God, it assigned the IP address of IP interface brief. How come? See, it's a bug, right? I have assigned this IP address, but again, it's assigning this. Okay, I gave a different IP address. Okay, I think I have created a okay 192.168.0.0 and 0.1. That's fine. And what is the IP address I have assigned here? One looks correct, but how come it got an 192.0?
DHCP pool, I think so. You have kept 0.0, no? So it has taken the first IP
No,
from
no,
the
no, no,
DHCP pool.
no, sir, no, no. See, the IP address it got is 192.0. But the one
Okay.
I configured is 192.168.
Yeah.
I don't know
Sorry.
how.
I observed something wrong.
Okay, no problem. Now it got an IP address, but I want this is assigning the gateway IP address, which should not be. So let me. How do we achieve this? See, network 192, okay, and exclude option exclude. What is the command exactly to exclude the address? Because we are not used to do this DHCP config. Exclude address. Let me try to think the commands. Configure reserved address. Okay, 192.168.0.1. Client identifier, hardware address. I think options. I think option code. There is a way to, we can exclude the address. IP DHCP pool. Okay, and then network. Command. I'm not getting the command. We can exclude the address. So what happens for the DHCP assignment if we exclude the address? If we exclude the address, happened. If you do an exclude, what happens for this DHCP discover that comes from the client, the DHCP server? If you exclude this address range something, if we exclude from 192.168.0.1 to 192.168.0.10, if we exclude this 10 address, for this DHCP discover from the pool, it will not assign IP address from the range 1 to 10. So that's the ideology of exclude, because you may use this IP address in the same range for my gateway. If this assigns this IP address to the PC, what happens? All the traffic will go back, right? All your PCs will go back again to the other PC, because this is static. This should be always assigned to the gateway. Gateway is constant, static. It should not be dynamic. So you can exclude the address. I'm trying to find the command. We generally do this exclusion in the separate DHCP info blocks. Got an IP address from there. Give me a minute. It's DHCP. Okay, it's IP DHCP excluded address followed by 10.0.0.1, Let me delete the pool. No IP DHCP pool. Cisco. Let me check. Okay, DHCP pool has been removed now, so I'm going to create IP DHCP pool Cisco IP DHCP.
Command is something IP DHCP exclude and address is there something.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I got that. 255.0.0.0 default router 192.168.0.1 IP DHCP excluded address 192.168.0.1. So till 192.168.0.10. So let me try now. Okay, it got a 90, 192.168. It's a really bug. Why it's taking a different IP address? So we haven't configured any DHCP pool. Let me check, is there any DHCP configuration inside the controller? Go back to controller, internal DHCP server.
Check on access point.
What access point? Delete this. Access point doesn't have any DHCP pool.
We saw that time some IP addresses was there.
Okay. Where inside the access point?
That time, yes.
Access point doesn't have any capability to run the DHCP scopes. Okay, let me bounce a port. What happens when I bounce a port? The DHCP discover will happen again from the access point, right? Let me try to do that. Interface fast Ethernet 0/3. Shut. And what happens to this access point? This is also taking a different IP address. Let me bounce both ports. So what happens from the client? It sends a DHCP discover message again to get an IP address. Shut. No shutdown. And again, no shutdown for okay. Let this negotiate. Okay, so I mean, you guys can keep asking questions in the meantime. Let it come up. Let me keep my wireless devices. Turn off this. And guys, those who haven't done the labs, see, you got your wired adapter, wireless wired adapter. You have to, swap this with the wireless connection. And you have to power on and power off the device. Where you have to, when you're connecting, it should be powered off, and once you're connected, you have to power on back. Maybe some students, they haven't done that. So I'm going to swap. power on back again. Okay, this access points are active. It's again gets an IP address 192. Why? But it's showing the gateway properly. How come this is getting an IP address? Can you guys see this? I mean, two SSIDs are broadcasting now, CR1 and CR2. Let me go to laptop and try to connect. Wireless, I have to check the adapter. Wireless is up. Wireless NIC. Going to select the WPA2 and the password is C capital Cisco at 123 and the SSID is CR1. Done. Let's see this PC connects to it. I see this PC is connecting back to this access point. Actually, this packet tracer is not giving us a leverage, but if you actually move around the real world, see, let me shut down this access point. This is called roaming. And there is an interview question. Let me ask you guys, try to answer the question. How many users can be connected to an access point? Lightweight access point.
30 to 34.
32?
35.
Yeah, you're close. That's right. But it's most recommended is to 25 to 28, but you can go until 34. That's fine. But you know what happens if you have many users? What happens? The throughput impacted, right? So yeah, so it's always recommended to have 25 to 28. And you guys heard about this decibels when you guys, if you are working on wireless, you might have come across this terminology. You heard about this dB signals?
Yeah, it's a
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
SN, signal to noise
SNR.
ratio.
yeah, it's a unit. Basically, it's a
Okay,
sound
what
unit.
is okay? What is the, I mean, average decibel values you should have for the better connection? Lower is better or higher is better?
Lower is better.
Lower is better, sir.
Great. But what is the average? You know, if the user is complaining you that, okay, my connection is not, I mean, my connection is poor, I get a very bad coverage. So if you check your
Might be
dB,
90 or 50, 90 something.
60.
Yes.
60 is your average. If he is getting if it's falling to 60, then your connection is pretty good. Lower is better. Can you see this? If I shut down this access point, so this I mean, this is not possible in the wired connection, right? See, this access point is down. My PC is automatically connected back to the access point 1. I haven't done anything from the, I mean, laptop. And you know, the roaming, who will do this decision? Is it the access point does the roaming or the client? Who decides the access point connection? It's based on the access point, or it's controlled by the PC? Who is controlling the roaming?
Actually, roaming profile is depend on the PC basically.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, you're working in the enterprise?
No. A small company.
Okay. But good, man. You got good understanding. That's right. Your roaming decision will be, I mean, done by the PC, not by the access points. So this is how this pretty simple design. If you see, you can take one switch and one PC, and we have seen the flow. And I definitely say it's a bug. It should not get an IP address in the real world, but still we have a communication back. and it got the gateway, right? And what is the IP address assigned to the PC? See, it's 192.0.0/8. I don't know from where this is actually taking the IP address at all, because I deleted the DHCP.
Somewhere we saw by default IP addresses you ignore that, but
No. By default, that is an APIPA IP address. That's in
no,
160.
that's not. I saw one APs or WLC. I forget.
I never seen this. See, only possibilities through controller of the switch. Did we configure any other DHCP scope? No way. Okay, I got only one DHCP scope. Oh my God. I've given the wrong network. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
It's my mistake. Sorry for that. So the system is always correct. So this is how you have to troubleshoot when you face issues. You have to think and what could be the problem. If you drill down, you will get it. Okay, no IP, DHCP pool, Cisco. Okay, IP, DHCP pool, Cisco. Network 192.168.0.0 and 255.0.0.0. Default router 192.168.0.1. Okay, so let me verify the DHCP pool one more time. I deleted this, right? What is happening here? Show run. Is there any other DHCP pool? No. IP DHCP pool, Cisco network 192.168.0.0, default subnet mask, default router 192.168.0.1. Everything is properly
Do
configured.
right. WR.
Again, is it a bug? I'm giving 192.168. How come? Not, I couldn't understand this. So no IP DHCP pool. Somebody is outside. Please mute. Very noisy, man. Okay, no IP DHCP pool Cisco. I don't know what is the problem with the packet tracer. K192.0.1 DHCP server. There is no DHCP server at all. So let me go back to IP DHCP pool Cisco. Let me ensure that do we have this pool again. Show run. Okay, only one pool. Okay. DHCP pool Cisco network 192.168.0.0 255.0.0.0. Default router 192.168.0.1. That's it. Should not be an issue. So run. I think definitely it's a packet tracer issue because I've been keep giving this. Let me give right. Okay, guys, I think it's a problem with the packet tracer. Let's leave this. So yeah, it's connected. If you turn this back, so let me go to this laptop. I do a config. This is down. So let me bounce this port. The base fast Ethernet 0/4. I thought that I am doing something wrong with the typo, but it's taking the same network 192.0. Base fast Ethernet 0/4. No shutdown. So I'll go back to this laptop. Go to config wireless adapter. Go back to my WPA2 and give Cisco at 123. The SSID is CR2. That's it, close. Can I say this? Since this access point is negotiation is going on between the switch, it's not broadcasting the SSIDs here. So the two laptops connected to the access point one, if either one of the access point goes down, so automatically the connection switch back to the active access point. So I hope maybe if you guys haven't done the wireless lab, I think this would be helpful, right? To how do we spin up the new controller for the first time, and how we assign the DHCP and the SSIDs, because in yesterday lab, it's a predefined lab. Every configuration was in place before. So this is step-by-step configuration for WPA and WPA2 with two SSIDs. Yesterday we worked with one SSID, right? The cap wap status is connected. The cap wap status is always with your management IP address. Can you see this? This cap wap status is connected and it's 192.168.0.2. So your cap wap connection happens over the management IP address of your access point. So you guys heard about this AP discover and AP discover response? Any of you? AP discovery response. Who sends this AP discovery? AP discover join request. Who sends this? Access point or controller? Guys, I am audible?
AP.
AP. Okay. It's a broadcast, unicast, multicast, any idea? It's a broadcast. You guys know the answer? It's a broadcast. Guys who are interested, you just discover what are all the information that's been sent on the response message. So it will check for your access point license. This is use case from the real scenario, okay? Real world scenario. It will, in the discovery response for this AP discover joint request, it sends the AP discovery response message. So inside the response message, it share the AP license, it share the certificate, MIC certificate that's used to exchange, and the firmware check. Because the controller and the access point, that control inside the controller, you got two codes. Okay, the firmware that's used to run your controller, that's the primary code, and there is one more called an AP code. So the AP code should be compatible with your access point, only then you have a connection back. And something called as a regulatory domain. What is that? See, you are buying an access point, okay? You're from India, you're buying an access point. So inside, if you give show inventory, let me try to see this. We have this option? Let me show you with practical. I'll try to do that. Let me go to wireless, and now I should see two access points connected to it. Okay, can you see this? This is called a domain, regulatory domain. This is important. In the real world, actually, here we got this option. Okay, this is not supported. So inside this, you can specify your regulatory domain. Okay. So inside your controller, say for example, inside this controller database, regulatory domain database, that's something. If you're buying an access point in India, it should have some name like I'm not sure it's I or something. Yeah, it should be an I. So the controller with the naming convention of I is only compatible because the radios that's defined, the frequency to work, this all works on the radio frequency, right? There is some limitation for every country. So you cannot connect your access point directly to the controller. This particular regulatory domain, this A, it should be added inside the controller. If you click on this in the real world, if you click on this, you can specify your regulatory domains. If it is in India only, then the association happens. That is important. So it will check for the regulatory domain also in the AP discovery response. For this AP discover join, it sends the AP discovery response, right? So inside that, we got this parameter also.
On same frequency, no?
Sorry?
Discovery will happen on same frequency.
Discovery will happen on?
Same frequency. Like 9, 15, 14.
No, frequency, this frequency which I'm talking about, we got generally about two frequency, right? One 5G hertz and 2.5 GHz.
Okay.
Okay, so the AP discovery response inside the parameter which I am talking about, a regulatory domain.
I was confused with the channel.
No problem. Channel, no problem. See, this inside this regulatory domain, you should specify this controller. Maybe see this access point comes with this regulatory domain, and you got this option inside your controller, but you should enable this regulatory domain. I should be enabled only, then this access point will join back. So when you do a troubleshooting, if you have all set of information like this, it's it's just a cakewalk to do a troubleshooting because you got all this information. You have to be little more informative and you should know more. Only then you can do a troubleshooting. So this is all not, definitely this is not a CCNA level, guys. This is all I'm giving, a bonus information.
Yeah.
Always, yeah. This is no more related to CCNA.
Yeah, luckiest.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for today's class. So my intention is everybody should do a lab. I should not be in hindrance because yesterday we just done a predefined labs because as we see here, this is getting this IP address. I don't know from where getting this. So let me research on this, but somewhere there's a problem with the packet reserve. So you try the same lab, even though if you got a bug and all that, the ideology is important, how this cap-wrap tunnel forms, and then how you can connect your laptops. This is very important. When you go for an interview, if they ask questions about the wireless LAN controller, what is access point, what is SSID, if you do a lab, I am pretty confident and I assure you that definitely you can answer the questions because that is a very limited expectation they should have from the CCNA candidates, right? They won't expect you to talk like CCAE or an expert. But at least if you have this level of information, whatever we discussed so far, if you learn that, that's well and good. That's definitely you're going to crack your interview, irrespective of your certification. So all helps. From the wireless standpoint, we learned a lot from the CCNA perspective, I'm saying. So try to utilize the lab, class, and practice, and also learn theory. That is also very important. And groom yourself and get yourself be a competitor in the interview. Okay, guys, I think it's a session more about the Q&A. I hope, I could answer your questions. And if some questions are pending, I'll do a research and come back for a few questions. And I hope everybody enjoyed today's class. I'm so happy
Yes, sir.
to talk to you guys.
Thank you.
Have a great day then. We'll meet tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Good night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Bye,
Good
sir.
night. Good night. Bye, guys. Take care. Bye.
लगाया झटका आप सारी करिए लेकिन इससे देखिए ये जो चौका है